Elizabeth I, England's iconic Virgin Queen, forbid an autopsy on her own body because she harbored a secret that could shatter centuries of royal history. Why did she so fiercely conceal the truth of her anatomy? Could it challenge the very identity she crafted? Join us as we uncover the dark, unsettling reason she denied the examination that all monarchs eventually endure. Queen Elizabeth I stands as one of history's most enigmatic figures, her reign marked by unprecedented cultural blossoming and rigid control. Yet behind the grandeur and patriotic fervor lies a chilling mystery. Her autopsy was forbidden after death. It spoke to a fear that what she concealed could destroy the carefully curated legend of the Virgin Queen. To understand why Elizabeth refused this final examination, we must peel back layers of her life, her body, and the expectations placed upon her as ruler. Born in 1533, Elizabeth Tudor inherited not only a crown, but tangled legacies of legitimacy. Through wars of religion and betrayal, Elizabeth emerged determined to present a certain image: chaste, resolute, unyielding. Her virginity was not only a personal vow, but a political weapon, shaping how she was perceived and how she ruled. Yet this obsession extended beyond symbolism. Rumors swirled during and after her reign, questioning the very nature of her body. Some whispered she was biologically male or hermaphroditic, an assertion that struck at the core of her womanhood and authority. These rumors grew so intense that even her courtiers seemed wary of knowing the truth. The Queen herself reportedly insisted on the utmost secrecy regarding her physical state, especially as death approached in 1589. Elizabeth's refusal was unprecedented. Her childhood was fraught with threats to her legitimacy. Declared illegitimate after the execution of her mother Anne Boleyn, she was cast aside and reinstated in the line of succession. This frailty in status may have inculcated a lifelong need to control perception at all costs, including the radical control of information about her own body. Furthermore, Elizabeth's health over the years was deteriorating, marked by odd ailments and rumors of mysterious physical conditions. Yet the vacuum of reliable medical records has allowed imaginations to run wild, intertwining fact and fiction. At her deathbed, in a realm where a woman's legitimacy was tied intrinsically to her body, this silence left a potent void filled by rumors of malformation or masquerade. The mystery deepened in the posthumous handling of Elizabeth's remains. The royal physicians, sworn to truth and duty, were powerless or perhaps complicit. Was this an act of loyalty or fear? The consequences reverberated through history. Elizabeth's denial set precedent for secrecy that fueled endless debates by doctors, historians, and the public. Did she defy nature, politics, or simply societal expectation? Did she hide a masculine trait or illness that would unravel her carefully woven story of feminine sovereignty? Only by examining these tangled threads can we hope to glimpse the dark reason Elizabeth forbade her autopsy. But the story only grows stranger. As we delve further, unsettling accounts emerge, threatening to rewrite what we think we know about the Virgin Queen's body and identity. What was the secret so dangerous it scared a queen into silence? Prepare to uncover a chilling truth at the intersection of power, biology, and myth. If you find yourself fascinated by royal secrets and medical mysteries, be sure to subscribe and share your thoughts. What do you think Elizabeth might have been hiding under all those layers of regalia? The truth is waiting, but she took it to the grave. The Tudor era was ruthless in matters of legitimacy and gender, especially for a monarch. Medicine was primitive and often entangled with superstition. Medical practitioners frequently performed examinations to confirm the sex and health of nobles, especially when succession was uncertain. Elizabeth's refusal to allow such a practice after death was an extraordinary breach of protocol. This suspension of a deeply entrenched ritual demands scrutiny. Unlike other Tudor monarchs who underwent post-mortem examinations to verify causes of death or hereditary conditions, Elizabeth's body was sealed away quickly. Ironically, her reign was also marked by meticulous self-presentation, with portraits and court spectacle designed to control narratives about her body and virginity. At stake was not only personal reputation, but national stability. If the queen had possessed anatomy atypical of a woman, the implications were enormous. Questions of legitimacy. Could Elizabeth's body have contradicted the identity she so skillfully performed? Were whispered tales of male attributes merely baseless slander, or rooted in observable truth? Some contemporary accounts hint at perceived masculine traits. Reports of a deep voice, strong physique, and inexplicable illnesses only reinforced suspicions among courtiers and rivals. Furthermore, political enemies leveraged these rumors to undermine her sovereignty, casting doubt on her virtue and capacity to rule. The queen's increasing paranoia about an invasion of her privacy extended to her physicians, who were tightly controlled and had no access beyond her commands. Beyond the public eye, a symbol both of feminine strength and political vulnerability. Historians debate whether the queen may have suffered from a medical condition, such as androgen insensitivity syndrome, a disorder in which a genetically male individual possesses female physical traits and is often infertile. This theory would explain both the rumors of male anatomy and her lifelong virginity. However, no definitive medical evidence survives, making such claims speculative yet tantalizing. The queen's obsession with secrecy extended, it seems, beyond death. She made explicit demands that her body remain untouched to avoid revealing anything that might compromise her carefully maintained image. This silence ignited greater curiosity instead of closure. The queen's closest guard sealed her tomb with the utmost discretion, leaving future generations only fragments and rumors to piece together. The deeper we peer into the social and medical fabric of Elizabeth's time, the more complex the picture becomes, and cultural taboos intersected. To unearth the full story, we must dissect documents, personal accounts, and surviving portraits with a critical eye, acknowledging both the biases and gaps that distort our view. Elizabeth's refusal to allow her body to be examined after death was not merely a singular act of vanity or modesty. It reflected a broader and grimmer reality about her physical and political existence. A robust frame and vigorously athletic passions for hunting and fencing. While some of these may have been exaggerated to undermine her, others hinted at biological anomalies acknowledged in hushed tones by those closest to her. These suspicions fed the rumor mill, which politically served enemies eager to question her right to rule. Any deviation from expected female anatomy generated seismic repercussions, especially toward the end of her life. This control over access was unprecedented for a royal woman, and speaks volumes about the anxiety simmering beneath her composed exterior. Where a person genetically male develops predominantly female characteristics, including external genitalia, but is infertile. If true, this would explain many historical curiosities, including her lifelong virginity and rumored male physical traits. This theory aligns with the Queen's adamant refusal to allow post-mortem examination. Discovery would have shattered the narrative of the Virgin Queen and the dynasty she forged. Yet the mere persistence of these rumors reveals how deeply this question troubled contemporaries. Elizabeth's closest servants and physicians were entrusted with her care, but controlled tightly, preventing any chance for scandal. On her deathbed, her instructions were clear. Her body was not to be dissected or examined. This command, respected without question, effectively sealed the secret of her anatomy away with her. Such a refusal disrupted Tudor tradition, as previous monarchs had undergone autopsy to determine cause of death or legacy concerns. The taboo extended far beyond her death. The vaults in Westminster Abbey contained her coffin with minimal disclosure or investigation. Subsequent monarchs faced autopsies, but she remained a unique outlier, her secret preserved in darkness. This mystery continues to captivate historians and conspiracy theorists alike. Power and history. Why did Elizabeth herself fear this revelation so much. When the court silenced discourse around her anatomy, it did more than suppress gossip. It created an enduring enigma. This tension between public image and private reality ensured Elizabeth's body remained a battleground long after her passing. The Queen had mastered performance in life, but the final curtain came with a desperate attempt to preserve myth over truth. What lay beneath that myth was a secret powerful enough to frighten a kingdom into silence. In the next part, we will trace how Tudor politics and Elizabeth's personal physicians wrestled with the implications of this secret, revealing the human fears behind the royal mask. The intersection of Elizabeth's physical mystery and Tudor politics was a crucible of tension. Maintaining the image of the Virgin Queen was essential to the stability of England and the legitimacy of the Tudor dynasty. Elizabeth's reign was fought fiercely on the battlefield of perception, where rumors about her anatomy represented dangerous cracks in her authority. As whispers swelled, trusted physicians and courtiers faced impossible dilemmas. They knew the rumors, but were sworn to silence and secrecy. The Queen's personal medical staff was tightly controlled and monitored, restricted from divulging any detail about her health or body that might inflame a suspicion or scandal. Yet they upheld silence, complicit in maintaining the Queen's carefully crafted mystique. This silence was both loyalty and survival strategy, discuss anything that undermined royal authority and risked punishment. Among the court's inner circle, fear and rumor fed one another. Some wagged tongues claimed Elizabeth had male parts. Since the Tudor era was focused heavily on securing succession and bloodlines, such an accusation was tantamount to treasonous undermining of the crown. The Queen's refusal to allow an autopsy on her deathbed was, therefore, a safety measure of both political and personal desperation. She knew the ramifications of allowing her body to be examined, discovery of traits. At the same time, Elizabeth's health in her final years deteriorated noticeably. She suffered from fevers, fatigue, and pains that hinted at underlying issues. Some speculate ovarian cancer or complications from untreated infections, but the lack of autopsy deprived scholars of conclusive answers. Her mysterious symptoms, combined with the fear of exposure, might have strengthened her resolve to stop any post-mortem's invasive inquiry. In the months before her death, in 1589, Elizabeth's commands grew ever more insistent about guarding her body's secrets. Witnesses recount how she sealed access and demanded absolute loyalty from her attendants. Further secrecy was imposed by successors, eager to avoid questions that might destabilize the realm. Yet the vacuum of knowledge triggered centuries of speculation and obsession with the Queen's body. The Tudor narrative had been turned on its head. The body of their greatest monarch was a forbidden text, locked away from study and understanding. Eventually, as the Tudor dynasty faded, rumors evolved into theories of Elizabeth's male anatomy, theories which persist stubbornly even in modern times. Could the Queen truly have harbored masculine physical traits, or been intersex, as many now argue? Or was it a combination of medical ignorance, political paranoia, and court intrigue? The next section will delve into the aftermath of Elizabeth's death, bypassing medical investigations entirely. This absence of official examination was unprecedented, especially considering the Tudor fixation on lineage and legitimacy. The Queen was interred hastily in Westminster Abbey, without public display or detailed autopsy, fueled by political rivals and foreign ambassadors hungry for scandal or concealment. This fear caused court chroniclers to tread carefully, embedding evasive language and ambiguous hints in their writings rather than definitive accounts. Over the centuries, historians have tried to piece together clues drawn from Elizabeth's portraits, writings, medical records, and court testimonies. Many point to her peculiar temperament, reported physicality. Growing modern scholarship has introduced the theory of androgen insensitivity syndrome as a plausible explanation. This condition would mean Elizabeth was genetically male, but with a body that developed external female characteristics. rendering her infertile. No forensic evidence exists, and the Queen's sealed tomb has never been disturbed to confirm or debunk these theories. Some scholars caution against projecting modern medical diagnosis onto historical figures, warning that doing so risks distorting context and motivations. However, the debate underscores the profound cultural discomfort around Elizabeth's concealed truth, a silence she imposed through her final order. This reticence fueled imagination, prompting fictional portrayals and endless reinterpretations of her life and reign. The narrative of Elizabeth as a woman who might have possessed male attributes breaks taboos about gender roles in history, inviting reflection on how identity is constructed and controlled by those in power. Yet the consequences extended beyond her personal legacy. When Elizabeth died childless, and without an official posthumous confirmation of her identity or fitness as a ruler, questions of succession grew urgent. The transition to James I, son of Mary Queen of Scots, was fraught with anxiety and intrigue. Some feared civil war or foreign intervention, predicated on doubts about Tudor legitimacy. Elizabeth's silence on her own body played into these fears, exacerbating suspicions that her reign had been a carefully maintained deception. The political weight of her concealment was enormous. What might have been hidden in her anatomy? Was it a disease, a congenital condition, or something else? And how did this impact the way she ruled and the way contemporaries viewed her? These questions remain tantalizingly unanswered, their mystery enhanced by Elizabeth's own refusal to allow an autopsy. If you are as intrigued by the tangled web of royal secrets as we are, don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments. What do you think Elizabeth feared most about having her body examined after death? In the final part, we will explore Elizabeth's posthumous reputation and how the taboo of her anatomy continues to shape history and culture today. Elizabeth's refusal to permit an autopsy secured for her a posthumous legacy shrouded in secrecy and controversy. The absence of medical confirmation regarding her anatomy created an enduring enigma that has fascinated historians, feminists, and conspiracy theorists alike. Centuries of speculation have built around the possibility that Elizabeth I defied the rigid gender norms of her time, challenging not only her contemporaries, but modern assumptions about identity and power. The Tudor queen became an icon for female sovereignty, yet beneath that icon resides a profound silence. The secrecy Elizabeth imposed on her body after death ensured that the truth would remain hidden, leaving her physical reality as an unread chapter in history's ledger. This silence shaped her image as the Virgin Queen in both positive and troublesome ways. Positively, it preserved her mystery and solidified her legend as an invincible female monarch, seemingly untouched by personal vulnerability. Yet it also opened the door to rumors that sought to undermine her authority by questioning her gender and biological authenticity. The notion that a girl born into Tudor England's patriarchal society might have possessed male anatomy forces us to reconsider the assumptions we make about gender roles in history. Elizabeth's story blurs boundaries between historical fact and myth, highlighting how bodies become political battlegrounds when power and identity intersect. This narrative persists in popular culture, inspiring novels, scholarly debates, and documentaries grappling with the notion of a queen who may have defied biology itself. For many, Elizabeth's denial of autopsy symbolizes the ultimate control over one's narrative even in death. It shows how monarchs harness secrecy as a political tool and how society struggles to accept ambiguity in revered figures. The implications of this are striking. Elizabeth's anatomy may never be fully known, yet the questions raised compel us to confront the complexities of human identity. Did her refusal protect a truth too dangerous for Tudor England? Did it preserve her reign from collapse? Or was it a reflection of private pain and physical suffering? Whatever the answers, Elizabeth's story remains a powerful reminder that history is shaped not only by what is revealed, but by what is concealed. The Queen's final act of defiance transformed her death into a mystery lasting centuries. Today, scholars still debate, and curiosity endures as the world reflects on the audacity, fear, and resilience embodied by a queen who defied convention until the very end. In exposing the forbidden's rationale for Elizabeth's silent autopsy, we are left with a haunting puzzle. A queen who guarded her true self with a ferocity that transcended life and death. As we close this chapter, consider how much of history is shaped by what rulers decide to hide, and how does that change our understanding of the past? Elizabeth's story challenges us to look beyond the surface and question the stories we accept as truth. Her forbidden autopsy is a reminder that even legends conceal secrets and some remain forever locked away in the shadows of time.